Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news, Nick Diaz reveals in a recent podcast that he's not a fan of Tony Ferguson's fight style. Here's what Diaz had to say.
I don't like it.
You don't like his style?
No, it's obnoxious.
Fighting style?
Yeah, I can't stand that type of style.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna knock it, but because that's what you have to do.
In that fight or general?
In general, it's like when you have, it's like a spastic type of person makes up with lack of technique with those type of tactics. Yeah. And you have to avoid those tactics. And it's really an annoying type of guy to fight. That's it. Mixed martial arts for you though, but just because it's mixed martial arts doesn't mean that you should depend on these tactics that you're allowed to do. Yeah. If you have a strong base and you throw those in, then it's one thing, but then when you have a lot of times people will make up for the lack of their strong base, of technique with stuff like what he does.
Are you coaching MMA too?
I should. I'm pretty versed in all this stuff, but I'm just too competitive and I don't like to get, if I can't actually be hands-on, I don't really want to be involved.
Chael Sonnen puts forth the idea that Islam Makahchev may retire following his UFC 284 clash with Alexander Volkanovski, regardless of the final result.
I cannot realistically imagine a scenario where Islam in his career goes into a bigger match. I just don't know that realistically Islam is going to find himself in a scenario of a match with a storyline and an opponent that's bigger than this one. And these matches at this level, boy, they're one. You're talking about a game of inches. You're talking about a game. Who got more sleep the night before? As silly as that sounds, but they're this close. Who warmed up appropriately? Right? I mean, you can fill in the blanks. And I don't want to get too weird with it, but they're small degrees of separation. And this feels to me like one heck of a matzo ball that just got set down. That your trainer, mentor, and coach is not going to be training, mentoring, or coaching you. It feels like a big deal. Khabib got put in this exact same spot, and he saw it through, and he said goodbye. Islam is now in a very similar situation. How he's going to react and how he's going to respond. It's of interest.
While Sonnen revealed this is nothing more than speculation, do you think there's a chance that Islam could retire earlier, just like Khabib? Let us know your opinion in the comment section. ESPN discusses the latest in the ongoing betting scandal regarding the now suspended coach James Krause.
James Krause, the suspended MMA coach who's at the center of an ongoing betting scandal in the UFC, has acted as an offshore bookmaking agent for multiple years. That's according to sources that have bet with him. Krause, of course, is suspended for his role in non-disclosing an injury by Derek Minner, one of his fighters that he trained in a November 5th fight, UFC bout that attracted suspicious betting activity. And this was at sportsbooks all the way in New York and New Jersey, as well as someone in the offshore and underground bookmaking world. There were bets on the Minner's opponent, Chael Nierdambike, to win in the first round and for the fight to last less than 2.5 rounds. Bookmakers were really surprised by how much money was bet on this kind of undercard fight, and not only how much it was bet, but how often it just kept getting bet. No matter what they moved the odds to, people were betting it, as one bookmaker said, like they knew the result. Minner would go on to lose in the first round by TKO just in the first minute of the fight. Since then, Nevada State Athletic Commission has launched an investigation, and sources have told ESPN the FBI is also gathering information, speaking to people about this fight and the unusual betting activity that it attracted.
Khabib Nurmagomedov recently announced his retirement from MMA coaching and that he will no longer be cornering Islam Makahchev when he faces off against Alexander Volkanovski next month. Here's what Sean O'Malley had to say about the situation.
Islam versus Volkanovski is actually coming up sooner than, it's February 14th.
30 days, I think, is what they said.
Crazy.
I still got Volk, but Habib's potentially not going to be in his corner. Habib potentially not even training him right now.
Yeah, he's stepping away completely from.
So that's interesting. That could play a role. It might not. I don't know how their relationship was. Obviously, it seemed like it was like that. It'd be weird for me if Tim was like, "No, I'm just stepping away." I'd be like, "Damn, that'd be weird."
That would be. Did you see Islam's crazy training video of him just in the freezing ocean wherever he was? Maybe it was a lake. He was just he did his cold plunge in the lake, and then he was throwing snow all over himself, and he just looks like a psycho.
Yeah, that was. I did see that.
For some reason, the cold, when you're I mean, you do the cold plunge and it's relatively the same thing, but when you're just in the mountains and there's snow and the cold, it makes you look more like a warrior.
Yeah, I just look at Fruit Loop holding my nipples in the cold.
Paul Craig joined Michael Bisping to discuss the light heavyweight title fight set to go down next Saturday between Glover Teixeira and Jamal Hill. Craig says if Jamal wins, then he should be one of the next in line for a title shot.
I just had his killer instinct away. And then how did he win the title? He got a quick tap off Jan Blachowicz, didn't he? I mean, that was already cinched in. Like, whenever had his back, had him sprawled out, and then he sat in that rear naked choke, and Blachowicz was already tapping before before Glover had even like tightened that shit up.
Yeah.
I know he's done all the work before, but I cannot see past Jamal Hill. That's like, and I want him to win. As I said, like I'm there with the Q jump. I'm there with the, like, listen, he only won loss in his record the last time, and it wasn't just like I took him to the wire. And it was that was a close one. It was a proper no. I beat you. I snapped your arm, dislocated your shoulder. Can I get a shot? Can I get a shot again?
Well, you make a good case. You really do. And if you get the job done Saturday night, and it is the only loss on his record, you know, so it does make a lot of sense.
In a recent interview, Jon Jones spoke about what it's like training with Henry Cejudo for over a year. Following this, Jones talks about his return fight against Cyril Gane.
So John, what made you kind of decide to reach out to Henry and come out to fight ready?
Well, I started training with Henry over a year ago, and I just happened to be in town actually. My kids had a volleyball tournament here in town, and I thought I'd kill two birds with one stone, come see a good friend and support my daughter's volleyball. And I'm glad I did come out here. Henry is just so intelligent and such a great leader and tactician, and it's just been great. It's been really great trip so far. So day 1 of 4, and just a few weeks out from my first heavyweight championship against Cyril Gane. So yeah.
What
3 more
does Henry
days.
do that's a little bit different than some other people you've worked with?
Henry is just he's just super passionate about MMA, man, and it's the details, you know, angles and it's really just the details. It's the fine print when it comes to Henry. That's what makes him special.
So you're still thinking about it, but maybe you'll work with Henry in the long run for the fight, or is that something you're still kind of thinking
Yeah,
about?
absolutely. I'd love to have Henry coaching me for this Cyril Gane fight. Hopefully our schedules can align and we can get on the same page, and he could be one of my corners.
We had gotten to a point where, he was going to fight Jon Jones, and many who believe, including me, that he's the best of all time, for the heavyweight championship. And Jon Jones has been willing and ready and able to fight anybody. He didn't care who it was. Could have been anybody in the heavyweight division. He was ready to go. And Francis, we offered Francis a deal that would have made him the highest paid heavyweight in the history of the company. More than Lesnar, more than anybody. And he turned the deal down. So, I don't know. We get to this point where I've told you guys this before. If you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. I think Francis is in a place right now where he doesn't want to take a lot of risk. Feels like he's in a good position where he could fight lesser opponents and make more money. So we're gonna let him do that. We're gonna release him from his contract. We're gonna give up our right to match, and he can go wherever he wants and do whatever he wants.
Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.